Hi there again, Booktube Lola here and welcome back to my channel, Lola's Library. I am now on day 5 of the Booktubeathon. I haven't done the last 2 challenges because for the third challenge, which was to do a reenactment of a part in a book, I really don't like acting, so I just didn't do it. I can't enjoy it, and the Booktubeathon is to enjoy yourselves. So I've had loads of fun watching other people's videos, but I didn't want to do it myself, so I hope you all enjoyed doing that. And for day 4 it was to cosplay as a book character, and I really couldn't find anything to dress up in, so I didn't do that either. But today I actually really like the idea of this challenge, which is to do a class reading list. And I came up with a brilliant idea because I did classics and ancient history at university. I have some wonderful books that I've picked out to give a class a reading list for ancient history and classics and the interpretation of it in today's storytelling. So I'm going to do that right
today,
now.
class,
so I'm going to be telling you what you need to read for this year, and all the upcoming reading for this year so you can complete your studies. The first 3 books I'm going to talk about are books from the original texts of ancient history and classical studies. These are texts back from the ancient Greek and Roman times, and that's what we're studying this year: ancient Greece and ancient Rome and their mythology and how it is interpreted in the media. So going back to the original texts, we will be looking at Homer's The Odyssey. The Odyssey is about a man called Odysseus who has just come back from the Trojan War, and he can't find his way home basically. Poseidon, a god who hates Odysseus, as you will find out when you read this text, he keeps on diverting him and putting him off track to get home to his wife Penelope. And this is the tale about Odysseus trying to get home. So this book is packed full of mythology. There are many mythological creatures and people and gods all taking part in this book, so you'll see from the original what's going on in here. So I would highly recommend you read this for this term. The other book by Homer is the Iliad, and this is all about the Trojan War. So it does have Odysseus in it, but when he's fighting in war rather than anything else. It also has the hero Hector, who is on the side of the Trojans. Odysseus and Achilles are on the side of the Greeks, and that is the fight. And then you also see all the gods taking action and being against each other. Obviously, some of the gods are on the side of the Greeks and the other gods are on the side of the Trojans, and they are trying to help the war progress, and basically they're just enjoying a war because gods get bored because they're immortal. Yeah, there are loads of ideals about the gods in this story, and you do get to see their opinions and all these different myths that exist in the world of the ancient Greeks. So these 2 are the ancient Greek epics, and I'm now going to move on to an ancient Roman one, and this is Virgil's Aeneid, and this takes place also after the Trojan War, but this is the founding of Rome. It is about a man called Aeneas who goes on to travel so that he can found Rome, and there are loads of obstacles for him too. There's a hell of a lot of mythology in here. These ancient epics do hold a lot of mythology. They are not historically accurate, but they are for entertainment purposes. He also travels to the underworld, so you do get to see a massive amount of mythological creatures. You get to see Hades' realm and meet all the creatures there, and all the Furies and all that kind of fun stuff, because I have a massive interest in the underworld and ancient epic, and I actually wrote my dissertation on this book, as well as a book I will be showing you next. Moving on to the interpretation of these texts in more modern times, I'm going to start off with the oldest one, which is Dante's Inferno, another text I wrote my dissertation about. Dante's Inferno is actually a very Christian text, and it is Dante's version of a Christian hell, but throughout the entire book Dante meets loads and loads and loads of mythological creatures and ancient heroes, and he explains to the reader how they are punished. Well, the heroes and the characters, how they are punished and how the monsters and such are punishing or guarding. Like Cerberus, for example, my favourite mythological monster. Cerberus guards the exit of the underworld in ancient Greece, whereas in this he guards the greed part of the underworld. He is part of it and he is an embodiment of greed. So this also embodies like Christian ideals of sin and how sin is punished, but it also takes a hell of a lot of inspiration from the ancient world and how we can fit it into like a very Christian setting. So that's the first text that's based off ancient mythology. The next one is extremely obvious, and that is Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, as well as the rest of the series, but I would highly recommend reading this one first, and this is by Rick Riordan. Obviously Rick Riordan here has taken all the ancient Greek world and embodied it into like a very, very modern setting. So Percy Jackson is a student of a camp basically where he goes to learn about his powers. He is the son of Poseidon and he has to learn about who he is and how his powers work and all that kind of fun stuff, and he meets gods along the way and has to fight beasts, even Medusa's in it, and obviously he has to fight Medusa seeing as his name is Percy, because obviously the whole Perseus thing, so it goes hand in hand with his character. But yes, I highly recommend you read this as well. It's a very fun interpretation of ancient Greece and how it's incorporated into the modern world in these texts. The final book I'm going to talk about is one I am currently rereading, and that is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. J.K. Rowling has taken so much inspiration from Greek and Roman mythology. I could give you many examples just from this book. There is a teacher called Minerva McGonagall, Minerva being the ancient Roman goddess of warfare, and I could say a lot of things about her, strategy and knowledge and wisdom. She is the Roman version of Athena, so there's that. There's also Fluffy, the three-headed dog in this book, which is greatly inspired by Cerberus. And I could go on all day, but when you read this text, if you haven't already, because Harry Potter is extremely popular, you will see so many links to mythology, both Greek and Roman, and it's just very constant throughout the entire series. So as I say this, go ahead and start reading these texts. They are very interesting novels. We will start with the ancient texts so that you can later on come to see how they have inspired more modern texts. Thank you very much, class, and I will see you. So I really hope you liked that little video about me teaching a class about these 6 wonderful books that I have read and devoured and loved. I hope you enjoyed my little reading list right there about ancient mythology. It's a great passion of mine, and I hope you take something away from this, because ancient mythology is amazing. Coming out of that, the Booktubeathon, day 5, I have actually read 6 books. I am on my last one. I am rereading Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the illustrated version. I have read, by this point, Coraline by Neil Gaiman, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and James and the Giant Peach by Roald Dahl. I have also read Batman Lovers and Madmen, as well as a Loki graphic novel, like Agents of Asgard, and it's called Trust Me. It's like a little bind up of Loki graphic novels. And I have also read Caraval by Stephanie Garber. So I am really excited to say I've actually read 6 books, and I believe that I can finish the 7th by the end of the week, because I still have 2.5 days to read. And Harry Potter's a very, very quick read. It's not exactly a giant book, so I'm very excited to complete the Booktubeathon and actually read 7 books for a change. Yay! Thank you very, very much for watching this video and catching up with me and taking my inspiration of ancient mythology, because it's something I truly love. And I will hopefully see you soon in another video. So I'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching and see you, bye!